Hello, hi, and welcome to Pepperdine Esports CSL League of Legends versus University of British Columbia B. I am Grace RamseyIsMey Ramsey, and my co-caster here is...
Coddiwomple Griffith. How are you today, Grace?
I'm good. I am super excited to be back after our extended break during this winter season. Excited to get back into watching some collegiate esports. And some pro play starting up soon here, too.
I know, right?
So.
Yeah, Cloud9 lost yesterday in somewhat embarrassing fashion, even though Perks said he wouldn't die the whole tournament. Anyways, let's talk about this crazy, wild new season. And
yeah, season 2021.
Right? And
don't be saying no season 11, you heathens.
Right, yeah, they scrapped that. Oh my gosh, the extra flash that's ADC mains get is so obnoxious. Like, why did we put flash on an item for immobile carries? Like, Samira, who can dash, and then ult your entire team is like... No, thank you. Same thing with, like, Cat right now, going AD Cat and just, like, proccing Kraken, like, one ability, because Kraken is weirdly...
Kraken Slayer is pretty broken right now from my understanding. It seems like in every game I've played and every game I've watched, the ADCs build Kraken Slayer.
Yeah, Kraken Slayer, I mean, short
more than just ADCs.
Right, yeah. Well, the problem with Kraken Slayer right now is that it's coded wonky, where sometimes it's on hit, sometimes it's on effect, and sometimes it's both. And sometimes the champion just gets like 3 procs. Like Katarina can throw a dagger, Shen Pao, and immediately have full Kraken, ult, and just like absolutely obliterate people. So, yeah, there's that. And then there's, you know, some things like Olaf and Graves are both super strong in the jungle. And I'm really curious to see if we get an Olaf-Graves handshake today, if we just trade one for the other, or if they get banned. You know, whoever's on blue side, if they ban one of them, then the other team has to ban the other, and then we move down the jungle tier list a little bit, and we're going to get some more teamfighty, engagey, hackerums, and some other stuff like that. So, very curious to see how bans shake out. Very curious to see what spice we have on the table today from both teams. It's going to be fun. And I'm really excited for Pepperdine to have a challenger of such a, you know, kind of such a caliber, right? UBC, even though this is UBCB, it's still a phenomenal program. I mean, one of the best programs in the country. And so I'm really, really excited for our guys.
Yeah, 6-0 currently in their CSL season. If the CSL website's to be believed, sometimes it doesn't always code things accurately, but I certainly believe it. So, you know, it'll definitely be interesting to see how Pepperdine first game back. We were supposed to have our first game back last week, but unfortunately we had a no-show. And so we will have to see how things go. Hello, Odyssey Twitch, AO Waves. Oh, I should say, first response to Twitch chat, we are occupying a weird nebulous space in space-time where we see everything going on in the game at the normal 3-minute spectator delay of the League client, but also you viewers see us casters at a 2-minute delay. So overall, you're 5 minutes behind the action of the game, 2 minutes behind what we casters are actually saying. So if anything seems slightly delayed or weird on our end, we do that specifically to maintain the integrity of the game, to prevent cheating and all of that, as per CSL and broader League of Legends regulations. So just keep that in mind. We try to say hi and be nice with Twitch chat, but sometimes it gets a little bit awkward.
Yeah, thank you for that disclaimer. It's important to have that for every game. Just make sure we're in a conjunction with the regulations. And hello, Odyssey Twitch. Glad to have you here. Let's go, Waves. We'll try to be as objective as possible today, as we always are, but I'm not going to pretend like we don't have a ever so slight bias.
Ever so slight.
Ever so slight.
Yeah, we're getting into lobby now, so we'll be in-game shortly.
From the looks of it, we will have blue side. Will Ivern be a contested pick for these teams? I have a feeling I know who is asking that question, and I can tell you right now, I know for a fact at least one of the junglers, can't say which, but at least one of the junglers detests that champion. So no, I don't foresee Daisy playing a role in this game.
But
I'm sorry,
Ivern appears to be doing fairly well just based on the stats I've seen on op.gg recently. That doesn't necessarily mean anything. It's very early in the season, but Ivern, I think, is ranked tier 2 right now on there, at least in solo queue. But that doesn't really translate to competitive play that much. But we haven't gotten to see much competitive play in this season yet, so it's a bit hard to say how things are gonna go.
Santo diff, yes. I actually believe the mid lane is going to be a pivotal role today. The UBC Chimichanga kid, who's, I believe, their mid laner, has a lot of priority on Jace, something that is actually a slightly weak into assassins, and Santo Massey is a known assassin player. So I would be very shocked if the likes of Talon gets through, perhaps a Fizz ban. We shall see how much respect they pay to Santo in the mid lane, but expect either a Jace ban from Pepperdine, or if they're comfortable with Santo taking some of his comforts into that, maybe not banning the main champion from UBCB and letting Santo try to kind of dominate that mid lane.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, though I do almost, just for purely selfish reasons, want to see the Respect Talon ban that has become world renowned amongst Pepperdine's League of Legends competitive play. It just feels it just sparks something in my heart whenever I see that poor champion banned away from Santo Massey. So we'll have to see, though, what comes through. Both teams have said they're ready for draft, but draft has not started yet, so we're just waiting for that to get ready. We'll have to see whether or not we're doing a pro draft at this point. I don't entirely know.
Yeah, that is a good question. I can try and check momentarily.
Just making sure they invite us spectators to the lobby just a smidge late, so sometimes we don't see if that's been negotiated already in the chat at that point.
Based on how it's going, I'm expecting we're doing a pro draft and we don't have access to that.
Fun! So we'll get to see it live when it happens in client just a little bit late here. So champions will be picked and locked in relatively quickly and in normal order when we see it happening live in client. So we won't necessarily know what was prioritized in terms of picks, but bans should also happen in order, though, of the pro draft, just because it's easier for them to do it that way. So we'll at least know ban priority at this point.
Yeah. And like I said, I'm really curious to see how the jungle shakes out. I should mention also that Riven, if I haven't mentioned it already, Riven is likely to be banned the entire series. And no, fans, the general sniper who you're seeing in this game is not the prodigy 14-year-old general sniper who is the little brother, I believe, or cousin of a LCS player. That gentleman, I believe, is 15 or 16, is not eligible to play at the collegiate level thus far. And so, no. He is, however, this general sniper is also a Riven main. So we would expect a Riven main for the majority of the series. So the team, I was had a conversation with them earlier, had a little bit of like a, hold on, are we playing against that general sniper? And the answer is no, as far as we know. You know, barring any shady, we've drafted a 16-year-old into our Collegiate B program, which we would never expect that to happen. We should not be seeing the prodigy general sniper, but we will be seeing Riven bans because...
Yeah, and just to let you guys know, you guys can't currently see the lineup because we can't show the lobby because it has the, you know, tournament code and such in it, but for UBCB, top lane versus Pepperdine Scott will be general snipers, who Coddy was just talking about. In the jungle against Pepperdine's Windchill 400 will be, I'm assuming, Shiv, how that you would say that. Mid lane, Santo Massey for Pepperdine against Chimichanga Kid,
which
ADC,
for the record is the best name. Just
very good. ADC Bobby Joe versus Izuru, I think, something like that. You never know how they say it. And then support will be Pepperdine's Dragon King Hot versus Sarin. So that just helps you know when we're referring to people by their names what exactly they're playing. So Chimichanga Kid is the person who might be prioritizing the Jace in that mid lane. So we'll have to see whether Pepperdine decides to ban that out, or if they will allow that pick to go through for Santomasi's Assassins potentially to take advantage of. But we will have to see.
Yep.
Some people are asking about the strongest top laners of this season. Do you have an opinion on that, Coddy?
Oh, I have many opinions as a support main as to the top lane meta. I do know. Camille is something that Scott has played, and I would not be shocked to see a Camille in today's games. I know Renekton is something Scott has been playing and performing fairly well on. It's a strong lane pick with a lot of, TP team fight potential. And then the likes of our, the traditional Ornn, very strong in the team fight. I know there's some speculation on a few kind of more off-meta things. Gnar has been seeing...
No.
Please, no. Gnar has been seeing some play in the LPL and the LCK. Now, to mixed success, some people are calling it a total, misread on the meta. Some people are calling it broken. Hard to say. We've seen a fair bit of Volibear in the top lane, and we know that Scott likes his Volibear. So does the Watermelon God, who may play today, depending. And then, we get the occasional Pantheon flex pick, right? Pantheon is super strong right now in 3 different roles. He can play top, mid, or support. He's not the best at any of those 3, but because he can be played very effectively in all 3 roles, he's got a lot of draft priority. So if we see a Pantheon locked in on either side, know that could be, mid lane, top lane, or support. Or Baby Yoda turnips. Who knows? Right?
The face that chat's seeing right now is me trying to discern what's happening, and trying to decide if it's
Baby Yoda turnips.
I'm trying to decide if it's illicit and should be banned. I guess not for now. I never know.
Chat, please explain your degenerate memes to us. We are boomers, or at least I'm a boomer.
I'm a boomer. I've been trying to figure out Minecraft recently, so... Oh, also, thank you, Soiled It Boy and Exocat Girl for the follow. Appreciate.
Yeah, happy to have additional viewers and fans.
Awesome possum. So, how about picks for the support role? Because I know there was a lot of adjustment to support items during the preseason. Moonstone Renewer came and destroyed enchanters, then revived enchanters, and then now they're kind of in this weird place where they're good sometimes and sometimes not. I've seen a lot of Lulu play in the bot lane with that Moonstone Renewer, Janna as well, at least in solo queues. So what would you say is going on with that support meta in the bot lane? Obviously, competitive play, probably going to stick with tanky supports, but...
There's only one answer. It's you're playing set or you're trolling. I'm sorry. If you're not playing set and flashing on the opponents at level 2, you're trolling. That's all I have to say about the bot lane. Okay. Except Thresh, Leona, Nautilus are all super strong. Blitzcrank is strong. Janna is a tyrant and such a pain to deal with. We're seeing a little bit of Soraka creep in, especially with her buffs. Next patch we might see some... So we'll see. I would expect tank supports from both sides. I would expect team fighting supports, hook champions.
And we get to see that now as we hop into the draft. And the first ban from Pepperdine was that Riven ban. Perfect prediction. Olaf ban on the side of UBCB.
Now, Pepperdine has a decision to make here. They don't have to ban Graves, and they can take Graves, right? Unless they UBCB wants to double ban. Okay, Seraphine ban, not surprising. If Jhin and Thresh is the bot lane they want, or no, Thresh is banned. If Jhin is the bot lane they want to be playing, Seraphine can poke from a distance. Respect ban on the Pantheon. If we don't see a ban right now of Graves, okay, there it is. So we've banned away the 2 most prominent junglers. A Hecarim pick here is not unheard of. A Camille pick. Grace, you called for it?
Yeah.
Is this it?
Well, keep in mind they're going to be picking in order because they did the pro draft. So we're going to see not necessarily what they prioritized, but rather what they wound up with. Maybe later we can get access to that pro draft link and to see exactly how the actual picks went down, but the bans will be in the correct order.
Okay. I am got a gut feeling. Echo, yeah. We're going to see Kai'Sa Galio bot lane.
On which side? Pepperdine?
For Pepperdine, yeah.
That would make sense.
Yeah, and TF Talia is scary. That's a lot of roam potential.
Yeah, a lot of mobility, a lot of like global ultimates able to get there quickly.
All right, I'm going.
Okay, Rumble Band, not surprising. Rumble pretty good into Assassins. Samira respecting Bobby Joe's champion pool a little bit there. He's had some pop-off Samira performances, so yeah, and a Leona ban. Okay.
I imagine that ban came through before the Echo, maybe as a flex solution ban.
Jhin and their Galio.
Jhin, Galio, but the Kai'Sa was taken by UBC, so probably if they had not taken the Kai'Sa probably earlier in the draft, then Bobby Joe probably would have taken that Kai'Sa pick.
Yep.
But Jhin is, again, very, very strong. I wonder if we'll be seeing the Lethality Dark Harvest Jhin that's just been kind of wreaking havoc in solo queue recently. Very, very scary.
Yeah, I would not be surprised if we see exactly that. With the extra flash that he gets by building his mythic item. I'm blanking on the name of it right now. And I'm really excited for this Galio Camille comp. Pepperdine's gotten smashed by Galio Camille in the past, and so they're kind of transitioning here. They're taking something out of the playbook of their opponents, and they're, Hecarim Camille are champions that want to dive in, and they're perfect targets for a Galio just to, like, drop a planet on UBCB. And it's also great into the Twisted Fate Talia, right? If Twisted Fate and Talia decide they're going to roam to a lane and just try to goon somebody, if that Galio has the ability to just come out of nowhere from the jungle and be a backup, that's phenomenal. I mean, it can totally counter engages and just disrupt the mobility that UBCB has put together. So I am a huge fan of this draft. And I'm really excited to see the execution.
Yeah, definitely. And I have already forgotten which side was which. I need to make sure the overlay is correct when we get to the actual
Pepperdine
game.
is blue side this
All
game.
right, awesome. That's what I thought, because they were on the left.
Yeah. I am very curious. This top lane matchup is going to be spicy. Renekton is very strong and a very strong duelist, but so is Camille. I'm hoping that our lovely friend in the chat, who's a big fan of Ivern, I also know happens to be proficient on Camille. Maybe he can give us a little preview on how the Camille Renekton matchup plays out.
Definitely. Excuse me, I'm just making sure that the overlay is all right so we have a great experience for our viewers here. Nothing's too confusing.
Yeah.
But
so
remember, chat, people who are new to this chat here, this is a PG-13 chat, so keep that language on the down low there, friends.
So in terms of team fights, I am going to give a pretty heavy advantage to Pepperdine in team fights. The ability to Hecarim ulti in, Camille can jump on top of that, and then the Galio on top of all of that. If we're fighting for objectives in neutral territory in the mid game, I think Pepperdine is in a phenomenal position. However, there's a lot of roam potential early from this Talia and Twisted Fate. I think level 6, right around 7, 8, 9 minutes, is going to be a really pivotal point. If the TF can be pushed in by Santo Messi's Echo and not allowed to get a really devastating first ultimate, that's a huge win. So I'm really going to be focusing on that first TF ultimate and Talia ultimate, and if UBCB, excuse me, UBCB, if they can get off a good Talia Twisted Fate roam into the top side and put Scott's Camille kind of behind, that's going to hinder quite a bit what Pepperdine wants to do. So expecting Windchill to have some topside focus. His bot side is pretty self-sufficient. Jhin will be pushing in the Kai'Sa. Kai'Sa will farm safely. That's kind of a handshake lane. We're both going to farm. The Jhin will come online a little bit earlier. be a little bit more potent in the mid-game team fights, and then we'll not be as potent in the late game when the Kai'Sa just shreds everybody. So yeah, this is gonna be fun. I'm excited, Grace. This is gonna be a game.
Definitely, we are loading into the game.
Don't do this to me, Santo. You have so many beautiful Echo skins, and you picked the worst one.
Oh, man.
I'm so sad.
Chat will be able to see it soon, because we got to load in the game and get that all ready. But I am noticing, chat, you're getting a little bit unruly. And for some reason, I cannot moderate from Streamlabs right now. So if you guys don't calm down a little bit, there are going to be some timeouts happening. Thank you very much for keeping things appropriate.
Don't make Mommy Grace come out and put you guys in the corner.
Yeah, more like employee of Pepperdine. Grace.
All right. Looks like we are loading into game now.
Yep.
Maybe, perhaps.
We're
someday.
Currently figuring it out.
I see the rift. I see a timer. I see champs. All right, here we go.
All right, and for some reason, the in-game overlay is not coming through on Streamlabs, which is interesting.
Uh-oh.
Let's go back to cast review here for a moment. I don't know why.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
Interesting.
You guys can't see it, so I'll narrate for you. We've got just a traditional 5-point fan out from both sides. Both junglers seem to be on the top side, though I believe Talia traditionally starts on her blues.
Turn off the overlay for now.
Looks like nothing especially wild happening. Talia dropped a defensive ward at her bridge to prevent an invade, backed and got a sweeper, so pretty traditional start.
Oh, I know what's happening. Excuse me, chat.
Minions have spawned.
The screen is messed up. Excuse me, this is my first time back after an extended break.
We're all shaking the rust off, no worries. And it looks
and
like...
I got a new big computer monitor. That was the problem. It didn't adjust for the new monitor.
It looks like Windchill is going to be starting on the top side and perhaps pathing down bot lane for an early gank. So if we can get the Jhin ahead with an early gank in the bot side and kind of take advantage of Talia's poor levels 1 through 3 before she starts to come online, that could be super impactful.
Polly's chat, you should be seeing it at least a little bit now. While I continue to get it fixed.
Nothing wild in terms of runes and masteries, nothing you wouldn't expect. Hail of Blades Kai'Sa. It looks like Jhin went fleet footwork instead of the traditional, or the solo QE Dark Harvest. And then Rednectin should have the push and the early advantage in the top side with Conqueror into the grasp from Camille. Big hook in the bot lane, although no aggro taken.
Alright, we should be back with the fixed overlay. Thank you, chat, for your patience.
First gank goes down to the mid lane. Santa Macias burns his flash to get away. And people reset. Really scrappy up here on the top side. Big trades going back and forth.
Oh, Scott getting aggressive up there in the top lane, getting the flash out on the Renekton, but then having to give up the flash in return.
Yeah. Spicy, spicy. I like all this fighting. I like to see these players really flexing their skills and trying to outperform each other. I think that's really, really awesome. It looks like the Hecarim is bot side and potentially looking for a gank in the bot side.
Yeah, we do see that gank coming out with that wonderful Galio taunt. It looks like the Nautilus is down for the count. First blood going over to Bobby Joe's Jhin.
That was well played from Dragon King. I mean, really well done on the Galio to secure the taunt, let the Hecarim knock the Nautilus back, and they may be looking for more here.
Yeah, they might be looking for that dive onto the Kai'Sa. I would not be surprised. The Nautilus is returning at this point. They'd have to do this soon. Does look like they're going for it. And the taunt again from Dragon King Haas. He takes a couple tower shots and ultimately goes down to the Kai'Sa. But the kill does go over to the Hecarim. The Nautilus is there trying to get something in return. And
yeah,
I don't think a Nautilus can 1v1 the Hecarim at this point in the game.
Yeah, that is worth. Trading 2 kills, getting your Hecarim ahead, getting your Jhin ahead, denying CS from the Kai'Sa and a plate. Yes, please. That is the snowball we're looking for out of this team.
Yeah, you're already seeing a 400 and 500 gold surplus on the ADC and jungler for Pepperdine at this point, which can add up over time.
Absolutely. Drinking Hot's a little bit cut out here, but looks like he'll just walk away.
Oh, the root coming out from the Nautilus. I think that Dragon King is done for, and that kill will go over to Chimichanga Kid.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Just found out by the jungler there. A little over-aggressive warding without backup.
We see that UBC seems to be setting up for that Drake in the bot side, getting pinged there by Saren's Nautilus.
Yeah, you know, the Hecarim does have a fair bit of steal potential. Blast coming over and then ulting out.
Oh, it looks like Scott's in a bit of a bad way here, though General Snipers takes multiple tower shots, so while he gives up his ultimate, he does not get the kill.
Yeah, and really well done to redirect that Camille dash and stun, I believe, the Renekton under tower. I'll have to look at the replay to see if that's exactly what happened, but it looked like that's what happened, and well played from Scott to avoid dying there.
Definitely. Looking on the map here, it seems like a lot of vision control in the blue side bottom jungle there. Well, one ward, but that one ward can make all the difference. There's also the control ward in the river there for the side of UBCB, kind of angling, maybe looking for an early Mountain Drake.
Yeah, I would imagine a fair bit of priority from UBCB onto that bot side.
Yeah, that was Dragon King sending his ability over just to make sure that nobody was doing the dragon there. I have to admit, I can't remember which one of Galio's abilities that is.
That's the Winds of War, and I believe it's his Q.
Q, okay.
And we've slowed down a little bit, but I want to acknowledge your point, Grace. Really good vision control in the top side, and previously just shortly before
even more
in the bot
recently.
side.
But this gank is coming through. The Renekton is caught out in the Camille ultimate, and that kill will go over to Windchill 400.
Windchill just on a tear with this Hecarim. I mean, really.
Oh, the flash hook goes out from the Nautilus. The Talia ultimate is down. Jhin manages to get across and is able to flash over. TF ultimate goes down too. Galio comes in to try to save his ADC. Does go down, but manages to keep the 4-man dive in this bot lane from getting too much value here.
Yeah, they will be able to rotate this right into a dragon. So Pepperdine conceding the first dragon, and in exchange, looks like they're diving in the top side.
Yeah, Massey is here with the teleport.
Uh-oh.
Oh no, this is going very, very poorly, very quickly.
Yeah, perhaps starting that dive just a tad too early. Oh, and Bobby Joe just sneaking a little kill there on the Nautilus.
All right.
Yeah, so in the bot side, let's take, we have a moment to breathe here, recap what just happened.
Do we have a moment to breathe, though?
This Renekton really getting aggressive
wants to kill Scott so badly. I don't...
And succeeding.
Manages to do it.
Yeah, so we had, as expected, that first Talia TF combo going into the bot side. They're able to not quite get the kill on Jhin, though Dragon King Hog sacrificed himself to keep Jhin alive. So it's 2 big ultimates spent in the bot side in exchange for a kill and the dragon, and then a sneaky ult from Bobby Joe gets 1 kill back. So all in all, kills are the same, and UBCB gets the dragon. Not great for Pepperdine, but that's okay. In the top side, however, we spend Santomassi's TP. Scott and Windshield go in a tad bit early. The TP hasn't completed. You really want the Echo to get that first, or the Camille to get the first aggro from the turret, because both those champions have the ability to reset with the Camille ult or the Echo ult. Hecarim doesn't have an ability to reset, and Hecarim takes aggro and then gets stunned and dies. And I think that's kind of the core of why that dive didn't go very well. And then, of course, Scott died under tower to the Renekton, which is, you know, not great. This Renekton now has a bit of a bounty, bit of a CS lead, bit of a gold lead. So, in fact, has an 800 gold lead over Scott at this point, which is substantial.
Yeah, and he looks like he's going aggressive onto Scott again. Scott trying to get some return on that trade, but I just don't think that he can win these trades at this point. Not like dramatically. It's not lost cause central, but the Hex Flash and the hook coming out from the Nautilus. Kaisa W and ultimate comes through, and it looks like Bobby Joe's in a bit of a bad way here.
He Gale forces away, but still, unfortunately, goes down to the Kaisa. Yeah, I mean, kind of across the map, Pepperdine losing out on some of these small advantages, and then UBCB doing a good job of transitioning those small advantages into...
Oh, that stun comes through on the Camille with the ultimate. It looks like they are trying to get this kill. Massive heal comes out from the Q on the Renekton, and looks like UBC has managed to turn that gank around into a 3-man dive onto Scott's tower, and the kill goes over to the Renekton again. The Renekton is now 3-1-1 to Scott's 0-2-1.
Yeah, and commanding a 1,400 gold lead over Scott. So this Renekton is really problematic.
Yeah, so you know what I said earlier about it not being quite a lost cause yet? Sorry for that caster curse there, Scott. That was my bad. It's not a lost cause, though, but definitely this Renekton is a formidable force here in this top lane.
What really is the biggest downfall right now is that Camille should eventually be able to duel the Renekton fairly easily in the side lane come 20-25 minutes. Correct me, chat, if I'm wrong. This just delays that significantly, and this means that in those mid-game team fights in the next 7 minutes or so, that Renekton is going to be absolutely terrifying, and there really isn't anyone on Pepperdine who's going to be able to deal with this Renekton. I mean, the Jhin just doesn't have the DPS to deal with the Renekton sitting on his face. So it's really going to be dependent on Pepperdine to engage and use their comp. They need to have Hecarim diving in, Camille diving in, Gala ulting on top of somebody, get a pick, and try to fight when the Renekton isn't there to just be a menace crocodile in the back line.
Yeah, definitely. I think with that completed Gore Drinker on the Renekton especially, Pepperdine needs to be looking to get some healing reduction, just in general. You saw in that dive especially, he was able to get that Q and heal up such an extreme amount off of both the Hecarim and Camille getting hit by that Q. So if he dives into a team and gets a Q like that, then, like, he's basically unkillable.
He's got close to 2.5 health bars between his empowered Q, which will give him healing, and the Gore Drinker active amongst a group. He's going to be... Yeah. 800 gold, there is no excuse not to buy some type of heal disruption.
Yeah, I expect to see the Morello coming out on the Echo and then, you know...
Yeah, probably buying an early Oblivion Orb and then just sitting on that until he's able to complete...
Just getting the Oblivion Orb, especially since it's more affordable now.
Yep. I would expect Pepperdine to concede this next dragon. I don't think it's something they need to fight for. And then, actually...
Though they do have a lot of vision control in that upper river there around the mid lane.
True, and we've got Hecarim bot side here. Now, the TF looks like he's in position to ult for a gank. His ult is almost up, just maybe 10 seconds or so. And... it looks like Windshield might have snuck a Rift Herald at some point when we didn't catch that.
Oh,
so,
true.
even though Pepperdine gives away 2 dragons, they get the Cloud Soul, which is phenomenal on Hecarim. Hecarim loves Cloud Soul. So that's good if Pepperdine can secure that. Now, it looks like, again, we're looking at a 5-man dive in the bot side. Bobby Joe and Dragon King Hots are just backing away. And Pepperdine may actually be able to secure first tower here. Oh, excuse me, no, the Renekton got first tower. So Pepperdine answering the first tower here. And they will get another charge off on the second tier in exchange for the bot lane turret.
No mid lane turrets down yet, which is an important thing to note considering how much more that opens the map for the various teams.
That's something that the side of UBCB really wants to do, is get Pepperdine's mid lane tower knocked down to really open up the Talia and the TF to have tons of roaming capability. So the longer that Pepperdine can hold on to those mid towers, the better they are in terms of defending against the globals. Or the roam potential, if you will.
Yeah, it's something we haven't even talked about yet at this point, is look at the CS differences that are opening up across the map. We're having the, 20 CS difference in the jungle, the nearly 50 CS difference in the mid lane. CS differences are up all the way around, not quite as pronounced in the top lane and that ADC lane, but, it's something to keep in mind.
Yeah, no, absolutely. UBCB, strong team, strong program, and they're putting Pepperdine, to the test. I think Pepperdine's responding fairly well given what's happening, but I think there's room for them to improve, and just some of those micro decisions, the top lane dive, for example. I think their team comp absolutely has the potential to come back in this game, though they are down about 5k gold right now, which at 15 minutes is substantial. So they're really going to have to execute well on this team fight comp that they've drafted for themselves and try not to get picked off by the very heavy roam pick potential that UBCB has. Oh,
Scott's getting caught out here, and kind of everything goes down to kill him here. Dragon King Hot tries to go in to save him. It seems like he does, at least for now.
Pepperdine manages to get Scott out, but at the cost of Galio Flash, Galio ult, Camille ult, I think Camille Flash?
Camille Flash and Galio Flash.
Yeah, so it looks like quite a bit spent there from the side of Pepperdine to get Scott out. And this is something that we've noticed from Pepperdine, is not a ton of vision control on the top side river, and yet Scott walking right down through the river and just getting caught out. So pathing, a little bit of a concern here, not respecting that UBCB has the upper hand in vision, has their ward line pushed up, and you just can't safely walk down those rivers right now. Now, fortunately, the only objective that UBCB gets off that is the Herald. There is no dragon for them to get double objective.
And this next dragon will be really, really important. Oh, Scott potentially overextending here. The Renekton is there and ready. We'll have to see what goes down. Hecarim in a bit of trouble here, but Santomasi's there to cover him a little bit. Oh, a beautiful Gen W max link.
Don't know if Santo wants to continue this too far. So, good job. That's a good pressure on the top side, forcing them out. The question is, what can they get off of it? Can they go mid lane and get some damage on that Chower? Or do they just have to back and buy themselves time to farm up a little bit? It looks like getting some vision control on the river, getting the Scuttle Crab, and just resetting lanes. So Pepperdine trying to claw back. That's a great force in the top side. Gets them just, a little incremental advantage. Buys them a little bit of time.
Definitely. Which team would you say has the stronger mid to late game here?
Both of these teams come down to execution. I think in a spread out map, absolutely UBCB, right? They've got Talia Wall to just find somebody, TF ult to just find somebody. If we're clumped up around an objective and all 5 players from both teams are sitting in the barrier pit,
is coming up, so
Yep.
We're
So in
about
this
to be
scenario,
clumped up around an objective.
Oh, interesting. Looks like TP into the top side. Kuzo maybe conceding this dragon in exchange for getting a kill onto the TF.
It looks like probably. TF looks like he's ulting. He might get away.
And he does get away. So, unfortunate for Pepperdine. They spend time and resources up in the top side, and cheeky little emote there from the TF, and they got nothing for it. Short of the TF ult. So, very well played from Chimichanga Kid to get out of that alive. And Pepperdine gives up the third dragon,
Yes,
which is
just
not
so
the end of the
you
world.
know, chat will not be seeing any emotes. That has been disabled in this game.
Ah, okay.
And it looks like Dragon King Hots is caught out here, and the Nautilus is doing a great job of locking him down, and it seems like that burn will eventually get him from the ignite, I believe, from the Nautilus going down.
Yeah, so UBCB just continuing to apply pressure. Jin with that Gale Force being an extra flash. You know, they're... Uh-oh, Scott down here on the bot side. Hopefully able to just walk away.
Yeah, just getting a smidge caught out by the Renekton there.
So yeah, so UBCB just playing this game very, very well. You know, pushing their advantages, finding good picks with their global comp. Pepperdine not playing bad by any means. They're just up against a really strong comp, and they weren't able to get any early objectives, which means that they're not able to force UBCB to come and meet them at objectives, which takes away a lot of the oomph of this team fight wombo combo comp that they've drafted.
Indeed, and thank you, chat, for the support. I see you repost this dog if you think Pepperdine is hog appreciated. So right now, what is Pepperdine's key win condition? What does Pepperdine need to achieve in order to come back in this match?
Yeah, Pepperdine needs to find a really big team fight around an objective, right? Pepperdine is really looking to team fight, and UBCB has drafted a comp that doesn't need to team fight. They can just split push and then collapse with globals when they find a pick. So, you know, clearing vision, super important, so that way when someone is walking through the river or what have you, UBCB can't just collapse on them. And then, you know, kind of biding time until Pepperdine can try to wombo at an objective, try to get 3, 4, 5 members of UBCB to clump up and just, you know, prey on them with these big teamfight ultis they have.
Definitely, it makes sense, certainly, and it looks like UBCB is trying to set up for this Baron take. They didn't get pretty much any value on that Herald they dropped on the bot side, but they have this sort of monster Renekton split pushing here. The ultimate comes down from Scott's Camille,
Ooh.
but no healing reduction applied to the Renekton makes him a pretty hard threat here.
Yeah, this is just... Wow,
Yep.
Poggers.
Renekton
is... Yikes.
Yeah, and did Scott have that executioner sword in his inventory before dying? I don't think he did.
I don't think he did. I'll have to watch the replay to see.
Yeah, I don't think he did, and all I'm saying is I said it early.
Wow. That is styling. That was incredibly well played from the Renekton. I mean, it just goes to show that when this crocodile gets ahead, he is just terrifying. And yeah, a little misexecution there. Dragon King Hot's not able to land his initial knockup, got blocked by the wall. Some walls have a little invisible bit that pokes out past its
it
visual
doesn't even
representation.
seem like the Renekton R, or not Renekton, the Hecarim R was able to connect either. It seems like that might have just barely missed.
Yeah, I think a good slice and dice to dodge the Hecarim ulti. So, you know, credit where credit is due. Phenomenal 4v1 outplay from General Sniper.
Yeah. honestly, great target prioritization, understanding like where he needed to get his kills and what he needed to do in order to do it. Full props to him. Because it obviously would not have gone well unless he could play the champion well. And oh no. Got a little bit caught out by this 2-level advantaged Renekton with the Nautilus and the TF there as well. It's just like you were saying, UBC is finding picks where they can and just kind of using that to snowball this game. Currently with a 13k gold lead over Pepperdine. Yeah, I mean, really difficult to execute on comp from the University of British Columbia B team, and they're playing it incredibly well. And now they have Cloud Soul. Perhaps not the most impactful on their team specifically, but certainly impactful in this game with their already intense lead. Yeah. You know, the Renekton is not mad. Gets to ult and then just run at you faster, so, you know, not mad about that. Same thing with the Nautilus. Gets to ulti and then get a little bit of a speed boost and run into the middle of the team fight. I would imagine we're going to see UBCB close this game out here pretty quickly. Yeah, they certainly have all the resources they need to. They have waves of Baron-empowered minions. Looks like Scott's going in, trying to get a kill onto this Kaisa, the squishiest member of UBC. The Jhin ultimate is coming down, but this Renekton is just demolishing these team fights. The Talia goes in with her wall as well, zoning out Dragon King Hotsman, getting back to his fountain, and the rest of Pepperdine falls just to a well-coordinated attack from the entirety of UBCB. Yeah, you know, this is a really well-played comp, really well executed from UBCB. It's, you know, Pepperdine has nothing to hang their heads about. They played well, but this is just a great draft and a great comp and executed well on the side of UBCB. Definitely, and, you know, it's one of those things where You hate to see your team lose, but there are definitely things to learn from that game as well. One of those things is just being able to not get picked early. Yeah. I mean, we said it in Champ Select, right? That first TF Talia ulti into the bot lane, you know, that the Renekton, they tried to pick on Renekton early in the top side, and unfortunately it didn't work out quite well. There was a little bit of a misexecution on the dive. It got the Renekton, I believe, 2 kills, and, you know, if you give the Crocodile an inch, he's gonna take a mile, and from the looks of it, only 1 piece of healing reduction picked up on the side of Pepperdine. Scott did build that Executioner's Calling, so, you know, not a whole lot being done into the Hydra and Gore Drinker from the Renekton, so I will expect some adaptation moving into game 2. I think we will see maybe a Talia ban, or perhaps Pepperdine will pick that away from them, and they'll pick up the Talia and the TF and hold the Galio and the Camille, and that could be a really dangerous comp from the side of Pepperdine. So I'm not super worried. I think there's ways for Pepperdine to adapt to this. They can, you know, they'll be on red side, so they'll have to do some jungle respect bans if they want to not handshake and trade the Olaf and the Graves, which they may opt to do. So we'll see. I'm excited for game 2. I think this is going to be a fun series as it continues to play out. I'm curious to see if Scott decides that he wants to take the Renekton. We shall see. Indeed, yes. Sorry, chat, but we need to keep conversation on topic and apolitical as much as possible so that we can have a good old community on here talking about League of Legends. So, overall, that game was definitely a decent showing from Pepperdine. First game back, lessons learned. What priorities and differences are they going to have to make leading into this game to get the most out of their game 2 opportunity? Yeah, I think it's going to come down to communication and perhaps not allowing this big pick global comp. I think
Pepperdine had an idea to play a wombo combo with the Galio to be able to, help out. And it didn't quite work. It's unfortunate. I think the comp was great. I'm not criticizing their comp at all. I really like the comp. They just, a good team played a difficult to execute comp and played it well. So, maybe they take off, they take the Talia or the TF off the table, or they pick one of those away and just kind of deny that synergy. I think that's, the first place they start. We saw the Respect Pantheon ban. It may be something that they have to drop, but then you open up more globals and more ability to find picks. So in this meta, it's hard to kind of deny. There's so many champions that have that ability to, run an effective pick comp that you can't ban the Pantheon and the Galio and the Talia and the TF and the Riven, and so there's going to be some need for Pepperdine to concede that strategy if UBCB wants to play it again and adapt to what they're doing, not just denying them the comp. In that case, I think perhaps safer laners are an option. Scott doesn't have to play Camille. It's a great pick, and I think he played well on it. He had some good mechanical plays. But if UBCB wants to draft a big pick comp where they have globals and they can go and get you wherever you are, playing something that is a little bit more defensive and has the ability to survive dives like that is going to be super important.
Definitely. And it looks like we are going to be able to show the pro draft. I was getting all that set up while you were talking here, Coddy. And just timing out a few people who got too excited here in Twitch chat.
Oh, you made Ramsey do her job, chat. I'm
I know.
Disappointed. Yeah, no, Renekton, I'm seeing the chats come through. Renekton is very strong. And he's strong early, and more importantly, if he gets ahead early, he never really falls off. I mean, you kind of got to get the 50 minutes before that Crocodile is squishy again. And we saw that. So I would expect to see that Renekton either picked away or banned. If you ban it, though, then you're throwing 2 bans at the top laner and Riven and Renekton. So that's a lot to spend up in the top side. So we will see. I am very curious to see what adaptations we see out of Pepperdine. I think they absolutely can take games off this team, but it's going to require a little bit of adaptation and a little bit of, safety and execution.
Yeah, definitely. Makes sense. And we're just waiting. There's a brief break requested by one of the teams. So we will be able to show the pro draft. So we'll be able to show draft in real time as soon as both teams are ready to go. But we're waiting here for about a minute for people to be ready.
Yeah. I am wondering what adaptations UBCB will make. I would expect a Hecarim ban. I think that was kind of the shining light for Pepperdine, as Windchill often is. I mean, unquestionably one of the best players on the team, and I think a Hecarim ban perhaps warranted from the side of UBCB, especially on blue side now. Now, however, they do have the option to force a Graves Olaf trade, so perhaps they won't. They also have the option of banning away the Galio if they felt like that was a strong pick and they don't want to have to worry about that. Galio is a phenomenal ban. Though they
it
also
looks
have
like
the
Pro
option of
Draft
picking
is
it.
starting, and the first ban came through extremely quickly for UBC with the Graves ban.
Okay, so even on blue side, not wanting to kind of handshake and trade Graves for the Olaf. Ramsey, if you can perhaps invite me to this lobby.
Ooh, did they... not let you in?
They did not. And if you could also share with me the link to that pro draft.
All right, will do. But we see the ban for the Ribbon coming out from Pepperdine and Seraphine again from the. I cannot currently invite you to the lobby. I will get someone on that.
Awesome. Thank you kindly. I am anticipating an Olaf ban from the side of Pepperdine, so that way that very strong champion is not...
Yes, the Olaf ban comes through for Pepperdine. Currently, UBC is thinking. UBC. And they banned the Victor.
Oh, interesting. That tells me that they don't want Santomasi on a control mage who can scale and provide big team fight capability. So I wonder what they're going for. That's an odd ban. I would have banned away the Hecarim because Windchill is strong on it and it was good that game. Or perhaps they're going to first pick the Hecarim away from him.
Yeah, the Twisted Fate ban is being hovered for Pepperdine, and that does come through.
I think that's a phenomenal adaptation. I'm seeing my name pop up in chat. What did I do, chat? All right.
Oh, Greg McGregor, does that mean that the people will dine on peppers? Is that the idea of having a restaurant where the main ingredient in every dish is pepper? Talia is picked again for UBC. Sorry, I got a little bit distracted by the wordplay going on in chat there. The Talia pick worked out well for them, able to make a lot of impact on it. We focused a lot on the Renekton's flashiness. I mean, the Renekton got a quadra kill, but the Talia and all the rest of UBC were able to come through and have tremendous impact on their champion, so I am not surprised to see the roll back. But it looks like the Kaisa will get picked up for Pepperdine, which is a comfort pick of sorts for Bobby Joe.
Yep.
And originally we thought we were going to see the Kaisa picked up for Pepperdine the first time. It seems like that got picked away from him, which is why he was on the Jhin, but now we see the Kaisa again.
Yeah, I would expect a Jhin pickup in return. The ADC from UBCB is a Jhin player, so I'm sure he's happy.
And the Nidalee coming through. Sorry, I was getting stuff all sorted for you, Coddy. There we go. Got that again.
Yeah. Nidalee tells me that Pepperdine wants to play Renekton in the top side. Nidalee Renekton, very strong setup. You know, being able to stun into spear.
Yeah, and so Pantheon Samira coming out from UBC.
So I would anticipate that's a bot lane Pantheon Samira, but could very well be a top lane Pantheon. I mean, Pantheon very akin to Riven in a mechanically intensive champion with.
And we do see the Ornn coming out for Pepperdine, a champion that Scott is very comfortable on and has seen much success with in the past. Yep. And a Renekton ban coming out from the side of Pepperdine.
I think that's a great adaptation, being able to ban away the Renekton. Ornn, a strong top laner, a strong team fighter, and safe. Importantly, we were talking about needing to play safe. Especially with that Talia, the Ornn can just activate, I believe it's his W, that makes him unstoppable, dodge some of the CC from perhaps a Pantheon or a Talia gank, and just kind of walk away. So I like this adaptation from Pepperdine. Not as flashy or as exciting as a Camille, perhaps, but also a strong, safe pick.
Yeah, and we do see the Cassiopeia come out from UBC, and then the Camille come out from Pepperdine. So some very strong carry potential champions being focused. A lot of targeting towards that mid lane by UBC, trying to ban out stuff that Santomasi can use to much effect. And the Morgana ban finally coming out.
From the side of Pepperdine?
UBC.
UBC. Oh, interesting. That indicates they probably want to play
You have
Thresh.
had the link for a hot second. Just let me know.
Have I? Oh. Well, then I am not paying attention.
It is okay. And it looks like Pepperdine is hovering a Tom Kench right now. I wonder if that'll go through.
Interesting. It's not surprising. Pantheon, being able to eat somebody away and save them from the Pantheon or the Talia. It's
definitely expect that is the support Tom Kench going over to Dragon King Hots.
Saving Santomasi's pick for last. You know, with the Nidalee as an AP option and the Kaisa with a little bit of AP, I would not be wholly surprised to see a Yasuo here. Ooh, Aurelia. Again, another mechanical, flashy champion from the side of... And a Rel. Hello.
Interesting.
That's new.
Going to be something Pepperdine has not had to deal with before.
This will be the second game of Rel I've ever watched, so I'm very curious to see how this Iron Maiden Horse Lady plays out. And there we go. Yasuo, strong with the Ornn. You know, a very potent knock-up potential. Has 2 different ways to knock people up and set the Yasuo up. And that indicates that it's a mid lane Pantheon. So, you know, that's going to be a lane where Santo has to be very careful. I know Pantheon is strong into a lot of his preferred champions. So, you know, this Yasuo, it's comfort and just the ability to kind of dash and weave and perhaps play safe around minions when the Pantheon wants to be jumping on him. Also, the wind wall can prevent the Pantheon spear, which is where a lot of his damage comes from.
It'll be interesting to say the least, and we will get to see picks and bans all over again here shortly as we hop into lobby, but it looks like you are getting invited. Coddy, they're not excluding you this time.
I love them for it.
There we go. It looks like Dragon King Hots hopped out so you could hop in, and now he's getting back into the game, and we are about ready to go.
Yeah, I am very excited for this game. This team comp is much, much safer from the side of Pepperdine, no question. Much more comfort from them. You know, their first game was a little experimenty. I loved it. I loved the Camille give Scott some playmaking potential. The you know, the Hecarim Galio combination with Camille, I love that idea. It didn't work as well as they wanted to. That's okay. They've now adapted. They've gone back to pretty safe. Again, still team fight oriented with the Ornn and the Yasuo, but much safer, much more comfort for them. And now the onus is not on Pepperdine to execute and find big team fights. It's on UBCB to execute. They're the ones with the engage comp, with the flashy potential. So very, very happy at this adaptation, forcing UBCB to come to Pepperdine, play into this Tom Kench who can just eat somebody out from underneath the Rel and the Talia and the Pantheon. So, you know, this is a good adaptation, a safe adaptation, and hopefully Pepperdine's going to be able to weather the early game and use some of their teamfight potential to have a strong late game.
Yeah, it does seem like Rel will be a strong pick into the Tom Kench here. I am seeing.
Yeah, I'd forgotten about that. That is a very good point. Thank you, chat, for pointing out that Rel does have... Is it a shield break? Is that what the ability is, technically? Asking you, chat. I'm not 100% sure as to the answer to that. We'll quickly just go through the bans here.
Okay.
Now, Grace, if you don't mind taking over, I'm going to quickly step away.
All right, no worries. So, we already went through picks and bans before. We saw it when we were able to look at the pro draft. So now we are going through it all again. As chat has pointed out, it seems like Rel will be a pretty powerful support pick into this Tom Kench, and definitely something that UBC did not hesitate to pull out. So I'm interested to see how Sarin on this Rel does into the Tom Kench and Kaisa bot lane. I personally don't have a lot of experience dealing with Well or watching her in competitive play, so it'll be a new experience for all of us, hey chat? just catching up on all that chat has been said. Probably keep the big blocks of text to a minimum here, friends, because it makes it a little bit harder to parse out the people who are actually trying to engage with the stream. Pepperdine taking a little bit of time here to probably think and discuss before they hop into lobby. Of course, they will be hopping into the game as soon as this pick and ban phase is done, but we will have to wait 3 minutes for the spectator delay to conclude. And you will be seeing everything on a delay. Yes, you are back.
Were you able to fill that time safely on your own? No major concerns? Chat didn't overwhelm you?
Mostly, we've already talked about picks and bans. I was just encouraging chat to lighten up on the big blocks of copy and pasted text, as it makes it hard to parse through the people who are actually trying to engage with the stream. But that'll be their first verbal warning. They have about 2 minutes till it gets to them, and then...
Yeah, I can't start shutting people down until they've had an actual chance to, you know...
Yeah, actually hear it. Because we are on a 2-minute delay before we get to... From our mouths to their ears, 2-minute delay. The speed of sound has slowed down substantially over
the
Twitch.
internet is it's a wild place.
Yes, indeed.
So we're looking... We'll be getting into games shortly, hopefully.
Yep. 3-minute spectator delay starting up here soon.
Want it or not, we've stepped into a war with the Cabal on Mars. I played a lot of Destiny. I loved Destiny. It was a good game.
I also see people mentioning Minecraft, which is my newest and latest obsession. I have just fallen into the deep pit of Minecraft. I cannot crawl out.
I see what you did there. I see what you did there. Did you dig straight down and fall?
Yep, indeed.
I've not played a lot of Minecraft. I don't have the patience to just... I mean, that is a game that requires some serious dedication and patience to, you know, and time to build big, beautiful things. And I just want to lock in, set, and flash on people, right? I just...
No, but time to build amazing and beautiful things like the Pepperdine campus, which you are currently working on building in Minecraft. If you have absolutely any interest in seeing that Minecraft build in progress, the Pepperdine student staff working on that project will be streaming their builds each Monday at 1:30 Pacific time. So if you're interested in seeing that at all, feel free to stop by. I will... shamelessly promo additional streams.
I love the shameless plug right there. We walked
we're Pepperdine Esports. That includes everything esports is doing, not just League of Legends. So if you're interested in that Minecraft build at all, feel free to stop by. A little bit less action to take part in, but you can talk to us and the team, and it's fun.
Yeah. No, I'm a huge fan of that project because it's more than just a project for the stream or for the people playing. It's for the community, right? Because if we can give access to potential gamers who want to come in and see the campus, especially in a remote world, having the ability for someone to go in and see the campus in this big, beautiful build that we have is just awesome. I think that's such a cool way to incorporate gaming and our community.
And in fact, we have a couple freshmen working on that project that have never been to campus, and one has joked like, hey, I'll be the only freshman coming to Pepperdine for the first time that actually knows where some stuff is, because I've been building it in Minecraft. But that's our little promo for the Minecraft party going on. I think, therefore I am, which is a lovely little play on words for Rene Descartes and the Cartesian philosophy of mind. Don't at me. I'm a philosophy major with a specialization in philosophy of mind. But anyway, we should talk about League of Legends now. We have about 30 seconds till we get into the game. Well, probably more like 45, given how much the League client likes to take to load in. So what do you expect out of the early games for each of these two compositions? What's going to happen in laning phase?
I think, first and foremost, the Aurelia is going to push the Ornn about a little bit. You know, Ornn's just going to try to farm safe and get to that late game team fight, you know, god that he is. In the mid lane, Santa Massey, same thing. Gonna have to play a little safe, not get... I mean, Pantheon just wants to jump on everybody level 2 and kill him. It's just how how the champion plays. And then in the bot lane, I believe the same thing, right? Pepperdine has essentially picked 3 losing lanes. They're gonna try to weather the storm and have, you know, kind of a strong mid to late game. And I'm here for it. I like it. But it's going to require a lot of discipline. I think, you know, not overextending, making sure you have good wards down, and just being very cautious to not fall behind early. I mean, if this Pantheon and this Taliyah, it's very akin to the TF Taliyah we saw last game. If they get ahead, if that first pair of ultimates just kind of obliterates a lane, we're going to be in some trouble.
And we are currently getting into match. Excuse me while I fix the overlay. Forgot to do that in between rounds, but it'll be fixed here shortly. As you eat a granola bar.
Gotta keep my energy up. It looks like UBCB going for a little bit of an invade.
Indeed. Getting a bit spicy here. Makes sense, honestly, considering they're pretty powerful level 1.
Yeah, any CC and the Samira gets to use her passive, so...
The ward does catch them out, and they are dissuaded. Seems like they are pulling back.
Yeah, good use of a ward there from, I believe,
Pepperdine now, though, seeing that the Taliyah is starting on that bottom side. It looks like Nidalee went in deep. Doesn't look like she's going to try to get that blue buff. Instead, looking like they dropped that deep, deep ward.
Yeah. And they're going to see this Pantheon and Aurelia, so they're going to have some good early game vision. I'm very, very happy with the way they've played this early game just in terms of vision control and... You know, fanning out, they spy the invade, then they, you know, very quickly and effectively get in, get some deep vision, hopefully spot the Taliyah as she rotates. I don't know if that ward will be alive when she rotates to her blue buff, but we'll see. I gotta say, I think Samira is just a cool champion. I don't think there's any reason why she should exist or why an ADC should have a win wall, but I do think she's a cool champion. And if I wasn't the gold pleb that I am, I would probably try to learn her.
Oh, makes sense, makes sense. She is very much inspired by the mechanics of games like Devil May Cry, if I remember correctly, with the upgrade up to the S system. But I will have to admit, understanding how this bot lane is going to go with this Rel is not going to be within my field of expertise. I've not seen a lot of Rel play, so I am very interested to see how this turns out. And it was a lightning fast pick from UBC, so...
Yeah, they saw that Tom Kenjin said, we're playing Rel. My understanding is she operates fairly similar to Leona, where she wants to be going in and getting in the middle of a team. And she does... you know, Santa Massey getting a little aggressive here.
From Santa Massey, getting the first blood on
Let's
Yasuo.
go! Hello, Santa Massey. Little chip on his shoulder. Says, I'm not happy with the way I was pushed around last game.
Aurelia getting a little bit beat up there by Scott here in the top lane.
Yes, Pepperdine.
Oh, Rel is going out and getting aggressive onto this Tahm Kench here, although he has a little bit too much base stats to get too much out of it.
I am sorry. I am so stoked on how well how well Santa Massey played that into the Pantheon. He sees the Pantheon jump, misclick, land on a minion, and immediately he says, this is my trade to win. So decisive, so aggressive. I'm so happy right now. That is such a key thing for Pepperdine. And now Scott
getting aggressive on the Aurelia. He's right outside of the turret. Doesn't take a turret shot there.
This is what I wanted to see. This is some aggressive, confident. We know we lost to a good team and a good execution last game. We're not going to let that break our mental, and we're going to come back swinging. And
which is really good to see from Pepperdine. But you have to remember, last game they got the first blood too. So obviously Pepperdine needs to keep the respect up and keep this momentum going and be able to, you know, do the most they can. You said that they drafted all losing lanes. So far, lanes going decently for Pepperdine. So if they can keep this up, then things will potentially, you know, go their way.
Yeah, I reverse caster cursed them, I guess.
I mean, that's
okay
what we want
this.
to see, honestly, with the slight bit of Pepperdine bias that we do possess. And it looks like the Aurelia is getting beat up here. Although, no, she turns it around and is able to get those stacks up and take out Scott. It was looking good there for a second, but caster curse.
Santomasi still playing aggressive here in the mid lane, pushing this Pantheon around.
Yep. I've decided I am not allowed to cast what Scott's doing anymore. That's going to be on you, Coddy, because I've caster cursed him, what, 3 times today? I'm not going to do it anymore.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll happily take over responsibility for saying and narrating Scott's play. Uh-oh. Santo getting jumped on here.
Yeah, we see
He's happy to trade back.
An interesting trade, about even there. Our bot lane is getting pushed in, but so far keeping fairly even in CS. Kaisa actually is pretty decent at farming under turret, so...
Yeah, this is a really safe lane for Pepperdine. Kaisa can farm from a distance with her W. She can farm well under turret with her Q. So I'm very happy to see that. It looks like... No,
are the labels backwards, chat?
It looks like they are, in fact.
Okay. I thought I fixed them.
Uh-oh.
I think I fixed
Rome
them
flash up here in the mid lane, and Santomasi goes down.
Apologies, chat. We'll get that fixed.
So a good response from UBCB. Roam the rel up and dunk Santomasi in the mid lane. And it looks like they're coming back down to the bot lane now with the Pantheon ult.
And the kill does go down on Dragon King Hots. And apologies, chat. I automatically switched them, forgetting that sides don't always switch because they get picked based on win-loss from the previous round. It's what happens when you're moderating chat, running the stream, and trying to talk at the same time. But this Cloud Drake does go over to UBC. First Drake of the game.
Yep. You know, a good rotation, good use of the Pantheon ultimate. They get the kill in the mid lane. They rotate 4 members down to the bot lane, get a kill, force some flashes, and take Drake. So, just really good play here from UBCB, which is to be expected from this program. I still think, you know, even though Pepperdine is down 2 kills and a dragon, the gold is even. So, fantastic to see. I think some of that is coming from the fact that Windchill is just power farming in the jungle right now. I mean, almost, you know, what, 6 CS behind the highest CS count in the game?
A little bit of danger coming out here in the top lane, but Scott gets away. Oh, the Aurelia ultimate goes down. Scott tries to get his ultimate out, misses it on the Aurelia, and the Aurelia does get the kill. Windchill is there. Will he be able to get the return kill onto General Snipers? Flashes the Aurelia E. Whew. And whew, that was close.
Great play from both players. I mean, this General Sniper is turning out to be a phenomenal mechanical player and really impressive. Fortunately, Windchill's no slouch himself, able to flash that Aurelia stun and get the kill. I believe the Aurelia dodged the Ornn ulti, else I think that would have gone a lot better for Pepperdine.
Agreed.
And again, you see deep vision and good vision control from the side of UBCB in the bot side, able to get in there. Windchill was up in the top side, so they invade, they drop a couple wards, and secure the vision. And now they know where the Nidalee is, and as he continues to power farm, they'll be able to track him. far as gold is concerned, a slight lead, about 200 gold in the top side for the Aurelia. The big differential is in the jungle, where Windchill is almost 700 gold ahead of his opponent.
And that dive from the Talia goes down. The ultimate does block out Tom Kench. He's doing his best to survive and get something out of it, but ultimately Dragon King Hots was just caught out there by the Talia R. It was a wonderful placement there from Shiv to come in and get that kill.
Yeah, this Talia has, in both games, proven to be very versatile and very strong for UBCB.
I'm sure that Windchill and Santo are feeling the pressure as the two players from Pepperdine who are doing the best currently.
Windchill getting in, taking away a blue buff, so denying some resources on from UBCB in exchange for the gank in the bot lane. I believe UBCB is going to try to secure this Rift Herald. Perhaps
you see the Aurelia coming down and the healer
going. No, they back off.
Yeah.
So I would think they'd want to secure first Rift Herald and try to knock down that mid-tier 1 to free the Pantheon up to start roaming and flexing his early game muscles, but they've chosen not to.
This is a little random, but I love that orange skin.
That orange skin is awesome. The Spirit Blossom skin line in general is just so vibrant and colorful. Very.
Well, I believe that's Elderwood.
Cool. Oh, is that the Elderwood? Oh, excuse me.
Yeah.
Similar concept, similar color palette.
Concept. You see Pepperdine getting a little bit of vision control on the bot side river, but that Scuttle Crab does belong to the side of UBCB. Looks like the Tom Kench is trying to see if he can pivot up here towards the mid lane, but there is vision there pinged out for the side of Pepperdine.
Looks like Rift Herald picked up for Windchill. Did he just, he just kind of hopped in there and snuck that away. Yeah.
Honestly, with these Windchill early heralds, he's been able to both games get in there and secure them while UBC has been occupied elsewhere. We've been talking a lot about UBC having really dominant macro play and macro control, but we've seen the potential for Pepperdine to have just as much macro impact.
Yeah. And, I'm really curious to see where Windchill takes this Rift Herald. If he wants to, there's already a plate gone in mid and top.
Ooh,
and if
Santa Massey going very, very low there in the mid lane.
And forced to back. Yes, I am very curious to see if Windchill tries to knock down the first turret by getting a plate and then dropping Herald, or in the mid and top, which I've already have a plate missing, or if he goes bot lane and tries to free up the bot lane a little bit. Looks like Pepperdine is
pushing in the wave and then going to go do other things as good macro players do. It does look like UBC is prioritizing these Drakes, and Pepperdine is in no position at all to respond. They will be giving this Drake over.
They kind of have their cake and get to eat it too right there. They get the dragon and they get into the top side and get some division, and that really shouldn't happen. If UBC is going to dedicate resources to taking that dragon, it should open up Pepperdine to have control of the top side, and instead, because mid's pushed in, because top's pushed in, they don't have that ability, and in fact, UBCB gets to walk into their red side and place some deep vision and again know where that diddly is. So good macro control from UBCB, playing the map very well.
Santa Massey's Yasuo getting a bit aggressive there. So far, we see CS be fairly even in the top and bottom lanes. The CS advantage goes over to Nidalee jungle and to the Pantheon mid. We see a little bit of spiciness going on here in the top lane. Both
fantastic
coming
flash
here
from Scott to avoid the Talia knockback.
Ultimately, the Ornn R doesn't do anything. I think he ulted before they decided to pull back from that fight and weren't really trying to get anything out of that ultimate anymore.
Yep. Rel kind of hovering here in the mid lane, although with the Talia showing, I expect Sanso to just back off.
looks like this Talia might be going for the blue buff from Pepperdine.
And Pepperdine's bot lane needs to be moving now, immediately responding to the fact that there are 4-man potential dive. And on the flip side, Pepperdine, very smart, recognizes that rotation, immediately drops the Herald. Their bot lane backs off, and if they had gone for the dive in the bot side, it would have meant first tower to Pepperdine. So, very well played, forcing UBCB's hand and not letting them dive while still also getting some plates in the mid lane. So, or not plates, but getting chip damage, significant chip damage onto that mid lane tower.
Yeah, it's now holding on by a thread. Plates have fallen, so that will go down very, very quickly should Pepperdine group and be able to get some range damage on that. I will never understand Twitch chat.
It's just a different world.
But
rational human beings just kind of lose their mind when they enter Twitch chat.
Yeah, well, back in the world of Runeterra, we had a very interesting almost back cancel in the mid lane that spawned some question mark pings because it was a little bit strange, but...
Yeah. You are immune to your back being stopped in the last, I believe it's half second. So you can take damage in the last half second of your back timer and still effectively recall. So I imagine that's what occurred. Yeah. I will say one thing that Pepperdine is very guilty of is poor back location, greedy back locations, you know, backing in the middle of a lane and not just spending the extra 3 seconds to walk under tower to back. It's a minor thing, but it does occasionally lead to some unfortunate circumstances.
Indeed. It just happened to work out that time. So far, a little bit of a lull in the action, but we do have that Infernal Drake coming up here in just about a minute, as well as the next Herald. Oh, we see
Santomasi forced to flash away. You know, the Infernal Drake is a huge boon to UBCB. Not only does Pantheon fall off a little bit, but Samira with the Infernal Drake, it just... Oh, Scott in a little bit of trouble here in the top side.
The ultimate goes down. He did wind up getting stunned by the Aurelia E. He tries to send his ultimate out. It gets flashed by the Aurelia, which is just excellent play. You can see that General Sniper has actually physically stopped moving just to prepare for the flash away from the Horn ultimate. And it looks like Yasuo is going to get caught out here. He's trying to get something out of that, but ultimately it does not happen.
And that is, unfortunately, 2 significant deaths right before this third Drake. Although...
they do manage to get that kill onto the Thara, and he was trying to use the Blast Cone, but was blocked from doing so.
The question is, can Pepperdine contest this Drake?
Should Pepperdine contest? I would think
should.
So.
I believe they should. I don't think they can safely give this up. They force the teleport.
And make it down to a snipe battle, actually. Oh, okay. Interesting attempted R from Dragon King Hots there.
Yeah. It looks like they'll now concede the Drake. They put up a fight. It didn't work, and they smartly back off and concede the objective rather than giving up more losses.
But that just means that the next...
yeah, it means the next dragon is one that Pepperdine
sorry, just
cannot...
making sure. There's a lot of different versions of your name that are coming out here in the Twitch chat, and some of them contain words that are on our banned word list, so just be aware of that. No harm. You were just trying to come up with plays on the name. I'm sure you didn't mean for the inappropriate word to be in there. But.
I appreciate it, Twitch chat. I love your... Glumpy? Okay, I don't like that one.
Yeah, Glumpy, Clummy...
Squishy.
Coddiwomple.
Oh, Twitch chat, you are special and dear. Like your favorite nephew who just kind of occasionally makes you scratch your head.
Chat is simultaneously the weird uncle and the eclectic nephew.
Yes, I think that is the best description I have ever heard for Twitch chat.
Oh, Scott kind of running. I think he'll manage to get out of danger there with the Aurelia, but 2 levels up on Santa Macia in this mid lane. This Pantheon is
beginning to become a problem. And if they do secure that Infernal Drake, that is going to help the Pantheon stay relevant for the remainder of the game.
Yeah.
As he just...
That was an excellent jump onto Santa Macia there. Showed tremendous confidence from Chimichanga Kid to go in, know that he'll get the W stun, and be able to take advantage of that. The dive coming out here from UBCB, the Pantheon are coming in, and
UBCB just kind of turning it on here in this last few minutes.
Dragon King Hots is trying to get maybe a sneaky recall in, but there was no way he was going to be able to get out of that. And now UBCB is opening up a 4K gold lead.
Yep. Pepperdine played the early game really well, and in the last couple minutes, they just have not been able to keep up with the tempo of UBCB. And I think it's important to say, Pepperdine is playing this very well. It's just, on the other hand, UBCB is playing incredibly well. And a good team playing good comps, hard to beat.
Very much indeed, and you just see how much map control now that UBCB has been able to have. They have multiple towers down, 2 in the bot lane, 1 in the mid lane. That entire bot side of the map kind of belongs to UBCB at this point, especially with that vision control all the way up nearly in the base of Pepperdine.
Yeah, really, really good deep wards there from UBCB, allowing them to track that Nidalee and try to kind of mitigate as Scott flashes away. Mitigate the effectiveness of that Nidalee coming out of Fog of War with these deep wards.
Pepperdine attempting to get something, the Nidalee hitting like a truck and getting a shutdown onto the Aurelia, but going extremely low to the Talia. The Talia is also terrifying in this game, and the Talia is going to hop right back onto Scott. And
Scott with the turnaround.
See, this is why, okay, maybe I should still be casting Scott, because the moment I'm like, oh no, he turns it around, you know?
Yeah, kind of styling there. Baits the Talia to walk near that wall and then just knocks her up and gets the brittle proc and chunks almost a quarter of her health, a fifth of her health, takes it off. So very well played from Scott, showing clearly that he knows this orange champion and knows how to play around the terrain well. And I've got to say, Windchill, did you see that spear he just threads through the
It was impressive. And it hit like a truck. Oh, Dragon King Hot's a bit caught out here, but the Kai'Sa was there to provide some cover. Santo is ready as well with this very interesting back placement. He backs up a little bit and groups up with his team. The Drake is coming up here in about 20 seconds. You know Pepperdine does not want this Infernal Soul to go over to UBCB. So basically on about a 4-minute timer, UBCB has like a built-in team fight, because even if Pepperdine gets this Drake, they're going to have to take that team fight every time that Drake is up again.
Absolutely. And UBCB just gets to dictate how this fight's going. Oh, great
Talia wall blocks off Pepperdine, and the early kill onto Dragon King Hot goes down. Bobby Joe goes down as well. The Aurelia wreaking havoc along with the Talia and the Pantheon, getting that crowd control down. And the Samir is there. I know she's doing work. It's just hard to see beyond all the flashiness. The Aurelia E into the Pantheon W. They're chasing down Windchill 400. Will they be able to get the ace onto Pepperdine? They certainly want to, and it will happen. It goes over to the Pantheon at this point, and they will get the Infernal Soul.
Yeah, you know, Pepperdine, they showed up, they tried to make something happen, but a phenomenal Talia wall splits up the team. You know, they get to focus down the Tom Kench, who can't then use his swallow to try and gulp somebody up and take him to safety. And they burn through him. I believe the Rel reduced some of that gray health. And, you know, just very well played. Very well executed from the side of UBCB. And this Pantheon is, you know, for the rest of the game, just going to be a menace with that Infernal Drake. Mm-hmm. It looks like they're going to...
And, again, something we haven't talked about yet because the rest of UBCB has just been playing so well, but also the Samara has been playing extremely cleanly, 3-0-4.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, big
having a big impact without dying, and so obviously the kill on the Samira would be great for Pepperdine, but we'll have to see if that winds up.
No, Pepperdine needs a big team fight win. There's no question. They'd get a lot of gold back in their pockets.
Are here as well as Windchill. Will Windchill get the kill? He gets the kill onto the Aurelia. Now Dragon King Hawk is here as well, providing some much needed heal for his team. They seem to be chasing. Will they be able to get anything out of it? Kaisa there as well.
I mean, that's a great response from Pepperdine, right? They stop the turret taking the top side. They get a kill that negates the Baron. It buys them a couple minutes of respite. Scott pounding his magical hammer there in the top side. Forging looks like an upgrade to Windchill's mythic item.
Mm-hmm. Which makes perfect sense. You want to prioritize getting that damage onto Windchill, who has been performing extremely well this game.
I'm actually looking back, and it looks like that was already upgraded, so he did not upgrade that item.
He might have just been building something.
Yeah, he might have just been forging something in lane with his magic hammer.
But regardless, it is wise for Windchill to be your first upgrade. Mm-hmm. And it does look like Scott is a bit caught out here by 3 people from the side of UBCB.
Although he may be able to... Oh, nope. Samira flash. Could the Samira get picked up here?
Oh, the Samira ultimate goes down. Dragon King Hawk does pick up Windchill, keeps him from getting too much damage from that Samira R. But as we know, Samira's ultimate is basically not on cooldown if the Samira is good.
Baron started up here on the side of UBCB. I don't think Pepperdine can contest this with...
Yeah, I don't expect them to even try.
Yeah. Perhaps a spear over the wall if there's time, but I think this just goes to the side of UBCB. They're going to back. They've got just a short time to wait for that Elder Dragon, and they can secure that after they get a tower or 2 with this Baron and perhaps close out the game. So Pepperdine really looking to get a pick or a good Yasuo ult. I mean, we've seen Pepperdine make some crazy comebacks with phenomenal Yasuo ults out of Santa Massey. So theoretically, you know, if Ornn can get a 5-man knockup into a Yasuo ult, into Kaisa popping off, it's possible. Mm-hmm. But it's going to take, you know, kind of a miracle at this point for that to happen.
But hey, we are a Christian institution. We believe in miracles. Let's hope we get one today. But I do have to say, you can see that vision priority that UBC has, especially towards the bot side of the map, but also throughout the top side river. They have vision basically everywhere you could want to have vision as their team right now. Just pushing it in, making that wall of awareness that much harder for Pepperdine.
Yeah, I mean, they're starving Pepperdine out of their own jungle, and that's exactly what you want to do in your head. Get deep vision, take away camps, make it so Pepperdine has to worry every time they walk in their jungle. They're blowing sweepers and pink wars, and wow, that Aurelia just
hits like a train.
Yeah, it just...
With both the Kraken Slayer, the Blade of the Rune King, and the Rage Blade, Kaisa going in and manages to get the kill and a shutdown, but...
A little revenge there for Santamasi. Bobby Joe saying, you kill my Yasuo, I'll kill you.
But it does look like they're just pushing for Nexus turrets, which makes sense. Making it where Pepperdine is in danger of being knocked out of the game at any point. It does look like Windchill was looking for some aggression there, but
UBC, they get a Nexus Tower and back off, and I think that's a smart decision. No need to overforce when they're this far ahead.
Pivoting
Elder
towards
Dragon.
that bot lane to aim towards getting that inhibitor at some point.
Elder Dragon will be spawning here the next minute or so, and
yeah, they're backing and heading straight there. So Pepperdine knows this. Pepperdine is heading towards that Elder Dragon. I'm sure it's being pinged like crazy.
Yeah, you know, they actually are going to be the first ones there, so they have a chance to put down some vision and try to, you know, fight for this. The problem is that Pepperdine can't just stall here. They have to force this fight because they do have super minions, which will eventually reach their base.
Yeah, honestly, this fight makes or breaks the game, and you see Aurelia TP coming out, going behind Pepperdine, catching out the Yasuo here. He does use the wind wall to stop her E, but she uses her flash to get onto him, and you see the Samira hopping in. That was a beautiful Samira ultimate, I believe, going out on the entire team of Pepperdine, and the Talia cleans it up.
Yeah, unfortunately, the Aurelia ult is fantastic. Sansamasi doesn't blast cone over the wall to get away from the Samira, and the Ornn ult, even though it hits 4 people, Yasuo is not in the fight. So that big wombo combo we talked about, just not able to you know, come to fruition.
That was excellent coordination from the side of UBCB. That Aurelia TP into the Talia ultimate that completely cut off Pepperdine, and just generally having the Samira go in. And, you know, we got to give props to Izuru going in here 5-0-7 in this game. Definitely showing effectiveness as we wrap up this game. And UBCB will take the series against Pepperdine 2-0.
Yeah, and, you know, lots of praise for UBCB. Very strong team, very strong program. They played phenomenally well. I think Pepperdine drafted well. I think they adapted well. I think they played well. I think they played a really good team, and they lost, but I think there's tons for them to take away from that. I think their VOD reveal will be phenomenal. They'll get to watch not just for what they did wrong, but also for what they did right, and then more importantly for what UBC did and how they can use what UBC did to learn and grow. So
yeah, definitely not something to be discouraged about. Pepperdine, we say this every time. Every game, win or lose, is a learning experience, and we continue to improve, grow, and get going. And so thank you, everybody, for being here with us and supporting Pepperdine through thick and thin. It's been great. I may not understand you, Twitch chat, but you do hold a very special place in my heart. You know, just like that uncle, cousin, whatever we were talking about there, Coddy. So we should, you know, barring any potential reschedule problems, have a game next Saturday at noon Pacific time in CSL. So you can join us for that as well. Something to keep in note, we are going to try to keep that schedule on this Twitch channel up to date. So if there are any reschedules or changes or cancellations, you can always check this Twitch page and go down to schedule, and you should see when we will be going live within the week. Make sure to check that like day before just to make sure nothing got changed. And on Monday, we will be having that Minecraft stream if you just want to come and hang out again. So anything else we need to plug, Coddy? Anything else I need to shill? Follow us at Pep Esports on social media.
No, I think that's it. I think you covered all our bases. Thank you, everybody, for showing up. We appreciate your support, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, thank you very much, everyone. And thank you, Twitch chat. It's been fun. Have a great rest of your week.